Thing of Beauty by John Keats. So far as John Keats is concerned, it is very important to discuss this poet. Why? Because he is one of the best 5 romantic poets of English literature. In English literature, there have been many romantic poets, but John Keats is among the first 5 romantic poets. Now, romantic poet, how he is a romantic poet? Because his poetry is based on nature and imagination. And that was the time, that was the era, right? This was somewhere in between 18th and 19th century, when the Industrial Revolution had started. And that was the time when many poets, many nature poets had emerged. Because these poets, they felt that due to industrial revolution, the people are becoming too much materialistic and running away from the nature. Not only that, just in order to have their industrial gains and monetary gains, they had started destroying nature. So these nature poets had emerged with their powerful poetry. They had awakened the people, they had tried to awaken the people, and they had tried to make them aware about the benefits of nature, the beauty of nature, that how important and essential it is for the human beings to be close to the nature. A Thing of Beauty, when you read, you will find that this poem is also reflecting the same purpose of the poet. The theme is based on the beauty of the nature. And in a way, what he has tried to call the humans back to the nature. This poem is his urge to the people, a strong appeal to the people to return to the nature, to get close to the nature, to have a bonding with the nature. Why? Because he found the nature to be soothing, comforting, a great source of happiness, joy, peace, etc., etc. Right? So this is what he was, how he was a romantic poet. He was born in 1795 and he died, unfortunately, at the age of 25 only, 1821. He was very young and an extraordinary poet, the one who had his extraordinary poetic skills. At such a young age, beautiful poetry he has contributed to the English literature of the world. He has written a series of odes. Odes meaning, ode is when you are addressing someone. So even today also, after so many years, when I left my college and all, even today also when I find Ode to a Nightingale, Ode on Aggression, Ode on Melancholy, I cannot resist myself from reading those very odes. They are so appealing and so strong that have a great impact on the readers. He had many problems in his life. He was just 8 when he lost his father in an accident. When he grew, I think he was 11 or 12 when he lost his mother as well. And he was the eldest sibling of all his brothers and sisters. And then he himself also died at a very young age. But within this short span of his lifetime, he has given so many things to the world of literature, right? This A Thing of Beauty, the poem, this is basically an excerpt, an extract from his poem Endymion. Endymion is a poem which is based on a Greek legend. Endymion was a shepherd. right? He was a beautiful, very handsome young shepherd who lived on Mount Letmus. He had a vision. He had been in love with a beautiful girl, Cynthia. Now, this Cynthia did not belong to the real world. This was his fiction, this was his imagination, that he was in love with a beautiful girl, Cynthia. And you know that what he is? Cynthia, the moon goddess, and he was trying to reach Cynthia. He was trying to seek Cynthia. So he had decided to seek to get Cynthia somehow. That's why he started wandering. He started wandering, exploring, and searching Cynthia where he would find. And just in order to seek Cynthia, what he did, he traveled and traveled. He traveled through the forest, he traveled through the seas, he traveled through everywhere. And when he passed through the forest and the seas, he had come across many beautiful things. And these beautiful things that he had come across, they made him feel that the nature has so many beautiful things to give to the humans. And why the humans, they are not enjoying? Why they remain sad? The humans are sad because of the miseries that have surrounded them. But in the midst of that sadness, in the midst of those miseries, how humans can survive and uplift their spirit, this is what is the lesson being given here in this poem. I hope it is clear, the background of the poetry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. However, the Greek legend that I have told you, that is not complete. It's a long, long story, because Cynthia was also actually not Cynthia. But for you, from examination point of view and for the understanding of poem, this much is sufficient. Okay. Yes. Now, before you read, what pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? We come across many beautiful things, right? Is there anything beautiful that you remember? That you still remember, maybe long time back you had seen and you still remember? Yes, Manish?
Ma'am, the small sparrows which we see.
The sparrows which you see, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they're chirping. Their chirping always attracts, right? Their chirping always attracts. When you are sitting in the room and you hear them chirping, you definitely would like to go out and to see the sparrows. Unfortunately, very few sparrows are left in Delhi. So Delhites cannot enjoy, right? But you see that like we in our childhood, we had seen all these things a lot. We had played with the sparrows. So we still remember. As I said, very few sparrows are left in Delhi now. So sparrows are not around, yet we feel, yet we remember sparrows, their chirping, their quick movement, jumping from one tree to another, etc., etc. Right? So what is it? This is nature's contribution to the humans. Nature has given this beautiful gift of sparrows to the humans that has a long-lasting impact on the memory of the humans. Right? Then there is a question, are beautiful things worth treasuring? Yes, they are worth treasuring. Why? Beautiful things are a great treasure, because you see that the beautiful things, when he says beautiful things, it's not a beautiful watch or a beautiful house or a beautiful car. Do remember, it means beautiful things given by nature to us. All right. So all these beautiful things that the nature gives us, why they are beautiful, why we derive pleasure out of it, because all these things are a great source of joy, happiness, peace, and health. When we are happy with this, then certainly we would remain healthy. Because there would be no worries, there would be no tensions, there would be no sadness. And that would always give us peace. We would be at peace. So, what the poet means to say by this poem, that there are beautiful things given to us by nature, we should treasure them, we should value them. They play a significant role in our lives. We should treasure them, we should give importance to them, and we should try to get happiness with those very things in the midst of adversities of the life. I hope it is clear. This is the idea of the poem, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now here it is. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Now here one thing very important, that the whole poem has been divided into 4 parts, right? The first part of the poem has 5 lines. These first 5 lines. The second part of the poem has 8 lines. And the third part of the poem has 7 lines. And the fourth part has 5 lines. So the whole poem is divided into 4 parts. And in each part, what the poet is telling. In the very first part, in the first 5 lines, what the poet has tried to convey to the readers, the impact of the beautiful things that the nature gives us. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. In the very first line, the poet has summed up his purpose, the whole idea of the poem. He says a thing of beauty, anything which is beautiful, given by nature, is a joy forever. Is a joy forever. The nature's beautiful things are a great source of happiness to the humans, not for a short while, but forever. Why? Because they have a long-lasting impact on the humans. Maybe that you have seen something very shortly, for a short while only, but throughout your life, you remember that. Isn't it? You go to a place, in Delhi you cannot see, but you go to a place and you see the sunrise. Once upon a time in your life, you went to that place, you had seen the sunrise, but the beauty of sunrise is still fresh in your mind. Whenever somebody talks about sunrise, you immediately recall, you immediately visualize that sunrise that you had seen at that place. So this is the impact of the beauty of the nature, that it is a constant source of joy for the whole life. It gives you the joy and happiness permanently, anytime you visualize, anytime you recall. Is that clear? Yes, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This one single line, you can be given a question on this. You can be asked to interpret it or elaborate this. So this is how you have to explain. Its loveliness increases. Its loveliness increases. The loveliness, the beauty of the beautiful things, it does not fade away. It does not diminish. Rather, it enhances. It increases with the passage of time. The beautiful things which are provided by nature to us today, tomorrow their beauty will not diminish, their beauty will not fade away, but their beauty will increase. Why? Because you will be enjoying it much more in future as well throughout your life. So that's how he says that the beauty increases, it enhances, it multiplies. It does not fade away. It will never pass into nothingness. It will never pass into nothingness, meaning it will never fade away. It will never diminish. It will not decline or it will not deteriorate, but it will enhance. Just as for example, I tell you that you see that in the autumn season, what happens, Manish? In the autumn season, all the leaves, they turn yellow. Why the leaves turn yellow? Because they decay, they decline, and they fall. But in the autumn also, we find the nature so beautiful, isn't it? Everywhere you will find the pictures of yellow forests. At so many places, the forests are turned as yellow. You have read Robert Frost's that poem, The Road Not Taken, right? In The Road Not Taken, he refers to the forest as yellow because he had been through the forest in the autumn season. So by calling the wood, by calling the forest as yellow, he is actually trying to appreciate the beauty of the forest at that time. So you see that when something is decaying or declining, that is also beautiful. So this is what he means to say, it will never pass into nothingness, meaning beauty of nature does not decay, does not deteriorate, it does not fade, it does not diminish, but it enhances. But will keep. Now, why it enhances? Because it all depends upon the eyes of a beholder. Somebody has said beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. How you look at the things. If you look at the autumn, oh, the trees are shedding down, then you will be sad to think so. But at the same time, if you are happy, oh, the trees are falling down and the leaves are falling down and new leaves will grow, then you see it gives you a source of happiness, right? So it depends upon us how we look at the things. But will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Try to understand each and every word. The poet says that the beautiful things of nature, they will keep a bower quiet for us. A bower is a shady place under the plants, right? Under the plants or under the trees. Now, what is it? The poet is comparing those beautiful things with a shady place. Why? Bower quiet for us. That shady place would be comforting as it would be quiet, it would be peaceful. And a sleep full of sweet dreams. And that is the place where you can have your nap, where you can have a sound sleep full of sweet dreams. When can you have sweet dreams? When you have a sound sleep. And when can you have sound sleep? When you have got a comfortable place to sleep. So the poet has compared those beautiful things with that bower. So what is it? It is metaphorical expression. The poet says that those beautiful things given by nature are like that shady place, which is so peaceful that under the shade of that plant, you can have a sleep full of sweet dreams and health, and you will feel perfectly all right. You will feel healthy and quiet breathing. And you would be at ease because you will get tranquil atmosphere, tranquil, peaceful atmosphere. peaceful surroundings. You will get peaceful surroundings. So what he means to say that the nature is soothing, nature is comforting. Nature refreshes us. The beautiful things of nature, they mesmerize us so much that they have a lasting impact on our memory. Is that clear, the first part of the poem?
Yes, ma'am.
If any doubt anywhere, you can ask me again.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Therefore, on every morrow, are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth? Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dirt, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. Try to understand each and every word. He says, therefore, on every morrow, every morning, the very next day, are we reading? We are reading, we are weaving, we are making a flowery band. What is that flowery band? A string of flowers. Every morning we get up and we find beautiful flowers and we start collecting those beautiful stars to weave a string of the flowers. Why do we do this? Because we find the flowers beautiful. And when we do it, it means we bind us to the earth. When we collect the flowers to weave a band or to weave a string, it means we are getting close to the nature. So this thought of weaving a string with the fresh flowers, that brings us close to the nature, that connects us to the nature, that reminds us of the nature, the beauty of the nature, the importance of the nature. By saying so, the poet has made an endeavor, the poet has made an effort to teach the human beings to understand and to acknowledge the beauty of nature. How nature is comforting, how nature is soothing, how nature gives immense happiness, right? Spite of despondence, spite is in spite. In spite of despondence, despondence meaning adversity, misery, difficult time, turbulations in our life, any turmoil in our life. In spite of despondence, meaning in spite of sorrows we have in our life, despondence meaning sorrowful. In spite of sorrowful life, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of inhuman dearth, lack of humanity, of noble natures, lack of noble men. Why the poet has used this phrase of the inhuman dearth of noble natures? Let me remind you what I said in the beginning, that industrial revolution had started. The people were turning very much materialistic. So the poets like John Keats and many other romantic poets, they had made an effort to enable the humans to rise above that materialism and understand the importance of nature, so that they do not destroy the nature and they do not make their life miserable. Because the people, they had started minting money. They had developed commercial interests. So these poets, they had tried an effort, they had made an effort to uplift the humans. So he says, in the midst of the miseries, sorrows, because there is a lack of humanity, in the midst of the gloomy days, the sorrowful days of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways. Why the days are sorrowful? Why there is lack of humanity? Because the people have started following unhealthy, unreasonable, unethical, and over darkened ways and evil ways. The people had turned materialistic, so they have turned selfish. So they have started following, they had started practicing evil ways just to fulfill their own self motives, just to satisfy their own commercial interests. So he says that in the midst of such adversities, where the people are practicing evil ways and they have invited troubles in their lives, in the midst of all this, if there is a beautiful object, then you will forget all those miseries because it would give you immense happiness. So in the midst of all these, if you find fresh flowers in the morning, you would pluck them, you would collect them, and you would start weaving them. Why? Because they cheer you up, because they give you happiness. So by saying this, what the poet means to say, it's a call to the humans. It's a call to the humans that they should try to come closer to the nature, so that they can enjoy the bounties of nature and they can keep themselves away from they could keep themselves away from the evils and the miseries of the life. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Yes, in spite of all meaning in spite of all the miseries, in spite of all the problems, in spite of all the adversities in your life, in spite of being so inhuman, unethical, some shape of beauty, if you come across a beautiful object, it would move away the pall. It would keep away, the pall is the gloomy. It will move away, it will remove, it will keep away the pall from your dark spirits. Dark spirits, the souls, the evil souls. Why evil souls? Why dark souls? Because when you are practicing evil ways, then your soul is not pure. Then your soul is not pure, then you have got an evil soul. So what the poet means to say that enjoy, be in the company of nature, be in the company of nature, enjoy the nature, get comforted by the nature will uplift the human beings. The nature will uplift the human beings. Nature will be a blessing for you. The nature would remove all the gloomy of your soul. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then in the third part of the poem, where there are 7 lines, the poet has given a list of the things which are beautiful, which are a great source of happiness to the humans. And it is not so that humans do not know, they know it, yet they make themselves devoid of enjoying all those. That's why he means to say that there are miseries. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, etc., etc. Such the sun, such, he is giving examples. He is giving the list of the beautiful things given by nature. Sun, is the nature's gift. The moon is the nature's gift. The trees, old and young, old and new, they are nature's gift. Sprouting a shady boon, sprouting the trees which are sprouting, the trees which are growing with their twigs, their branches, their leaves, a shady boon. All these things, the sun, the moon, the trees old which are grown up, and young which are still growing. All these trees, they are all bounties of nature. They are a shady boon. Boon meaning blessing. They are blessing for whom? They are blessing for simple sheep. Now, who are these sheep? Any idea? Who do you think does sheep refer
Ma'am,
to?
the people.
The people, the humans. Now, simple sheep, why the poet has used this metaphor for the humans? Because sheep are innocent. They are innocent creatures. So those humans who do not understand the importance of nature, the poet considers that they are also innocent. The nature has given so many beautiful things to these innocent humans. What beautiful thing nature has given? Sun, moon, trees, and such are
Ma'am, but
daffodils.
every person is not ma'am, kind to the nature.
Right. The people are not kind to the nature. You got it very correctly. You see that this is what had been perceived by the poets at that time, that due to industrial revolution and some social turbulations were also there at that time. So these poets, they had written their poetry. Through their poetry, they had tried to uplift the humans, to enable them to rise above their material gains. Right? This is what is happening today also. Fine.
Yes, ma'am. Like we
Yes.
have seen, ma'am, during the pandemic time, ma'am, there when there was a lockdown, the nature was healing itself.
Yes, the nature was healing itself. The nature was healing itself, Manish, because we had given the chance to nature.
Yes, ma'am.
We had given the chance because we
Ma'am,
had.
there was a increase in of 1.83 meter of the Mount Everest.
Right, definitely. Because we had stopped exploiting nature for some time, isn't it? So
Yes,
what does it indicate when you said that there had been increase in the height of Mount Everest? What does it mean? There is the bonding, there is the connection between the humans and nature, right? Which we the humans have to understand. That alien planet you read last year, in that
yes, ma'am.
chapter, what the writer had said, Nani Palkiwala, what he has tried to convey, that we humans think that we have the sole right on nature, on this earth. And that's why we exploit and destroy nature. Whereas we should understand that we are partners. And we are not only the partners, there are so many others. Whosoever is there on the earth is a partner, right? So such are daffodils with the green world they live in. Similarly, daffodil flowers given to us by nature are so beautiful. How beautifully they are encaged in the green surroundings, in the green, among the green leaves, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. And then there are clear rills. Rills are the small streams of water. How the clear streams of water are flowing, and a cooling covert make for themselves. They are flowing and making a passage for themselves with the plants which are standing by their side. In the hot summer, it is the summer season, yet the small streams of water, they are flowing. You see that the nature has made all the arrangement for us. When it is a summer season, the small streams of water, they are flowing. We can use it, but instead of using what we are doing, we are misusing it, either ignoring or misusing it. When we misuse, then also it means that we are ignoring the significance of these natural resources, right? And the mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Then in the midst of the forest, brake ambushes, the bushes. In the midst of the forest, there are bushes which are fragrant with the musk rose flowers growing there. What the poet is doing, the poet is giving a list of all these beautiful things that we should be proud of it. We should be proud of nature. We should be grateful to the nature, giving us so many things. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. And similarly, he says, such too is the grandeur of the dooms, the beauty of the dooms. Dooms are the sepulchres, the ancient sepulchres, just like pyramids, you can say. The old monuments, which house what? The dead ones, the brave soldiers who have sacrificed, the royal people, our ancestors, and the brave soldiers who have sacrificed themselves for the country. So it's not only the beauty of nature, but some man-made beautiful things have also been enlisted by the poet. By all means, the poet wants the humans to get closer to the nature. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now these last 4 lines are left. It will take time. So this we will continue tomorrow. And then we will conclude it, right? But you must revise because we are going to discuss the poetic devices also. And otherwise, any problem in explanation, so you will ask me again. Okay?